Hello, hello, hello. Hope everyone is doing well this fine morning is for me. I know this is another early stream probably for a lot of you. Maybe very late for some of you as well. I'm going to try and do a little bit later for the next stream. Just to give other people a little chance of having a better sort of time to catch up. Give me just a second. Okay. So, how's everyone doing? Do you like my peacock jacket? I think it almost looks a bit like a moth. I ordered this last week, maybe a week before. I ordered it a couple of weeks ago. Funny story there. I ordered this peacock jacket because my girlfriend was trying to get her boyfriend to meet the family, so to speak, because he hadn't met people, and I was the last person he had still to meet. So I was speaking to my grandparents about him, and they tell me that something came out when they met him. It came out that he was scared of peacocks, and I thought that's very bizarre. So do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to order a peacock jacket for when I meet him, since he loves peacocks. No, well, he was scared of them. So yeah, I got a peacock jacket for that reason. Eventually, actually, it didn't come in time for me to meet the guy and see my peacock jacket. So I was kind of disappointed in that. So now I ended up with a peacock jacket that, honestly, I don't really want that much because it's quite a cheap jacket. It's not entirely that great. I think it looks okay on camera, but we'll see. We'll see how long I wear it for. It's quite cool, surprisingly. Anyway, that's the story. So, Today we're talking a couple of things. We're going to talk about this Blaire White video where she was outing Jeffree Star apparently. I haven't watched it. I've heard about it. I've heard what it's about roughly, but I haven't watched it. So I thought, oh hey, let's just watch it on stream and see what people are thinking. And we'll also maybe go over a little of the Shane Dawson stuff that's going on because he put out an apology video since my last stream as well. So that's the two main things I want to talk about today. If anyone else wants me to talk about or touch on anything specific, then leave it in the chat, let me know, and I'll try and cover it or give my opinion on it. I'll see what I can do over the course of the next hour. Skyblade, boo. No one cares what you have to say, Skyblade. We know you're a weird moronic hater. A smoking jacket, very Hugh Hefner-like. Yeah, maybe that's the kind of jacket it is. Very Hugh Hefner-like. We'll go with that. I'm not insulted by that in the slightest. I think it's, I always like flashy looking things, and I think this is a quite flashy looking jacket. It's the cheapest jacket I own. It wasn't very expensive, but it looks okay on camera at least. I'm not sure how well it's going to last. I mean, I don't know, the material's just a little bit weird. I'm not so sure about it. I might just keep it for a prop for on videos rather than actually wearing it out and about. Okay. But before we get started, has anyone seen this thing? Flu strain with human pandemic potential found in China. Just what we've been waiting for, right? Just what we've wanted. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Just what we've all been waiting to hear. Who could have seen this happening? Also, I'm thinking that maybe for the next stream, I'm going to start trying to maybe have some sort of call-ins for anyone who wants to give their opinion on any sort of topic that I'm talking about. And so to do that, you're going to have to go to my Discord, linked in the description down below, and just join there. And when I'm live, there is a section, and you'll be able to see it, a channel called Rag Live. And basically, I'll be inviting people into there to ask questions, give their thoughts, that sort of thing. And I might be doing that in the future, hopefully. I'll do that. And we'll see how that goes. Just I think it may be a little interesting to see. So, obviously, yeah, there's this flu strain with human pandemic potential. And honestly, it's probably okay. I was reading through some of this stuff, and I doubt it's going to reach here. I mean, where was it? There was an article somewhere. Someone was talking about how, where was it? Yeah, it was this guy talking about birds have many flu viruses that never get into us. A few bird flus have hopped into people as dead ends, even fewer have become full-blown pandemics, sometimes via pigs. Four did so over the entire 20th century, but when they jumped they make quite a landing. And I think that's something to consider. That's something to definitely remember. Breaking news was they have started changing laws in Hong Kong a few minutes ago. Oh? Hong Kong. I don't see Hong Kong. Why is Hong Kong not trending on the For You thing? This thing? Beijing passes sweeping national security legislation for Hong Kong. That doesn't sound very good. Yeah, that doesn't sound good at all. I'm going to need to sit and read that before I can really speak about it, but I'll pin that tab for later. Okay, so where are we going first? Are we going to... Should I do the Shane Dawson stuff first, or should I do Blaire White first? I feel like I should do Shane Dawson. I don't think I'll spend as long on that. Anyone got a preference? Shane Dawson, Blaire White. Let me know. What should I do first? We're not going to watch this whole Shane Dawson video, actually. It's just, I can't be bothered. I've not even watched this video, but I really can't be bothered watching a whole 20-minute apology video. I've seen snippets already, but... Okay, we'll do Shane Dawson first. So, Shane Dawson. I think the big thing here, I was speaking about this briefly on my previous stream, about how Shane's obviously getting all this backlash at the moment for not just his blackface and all these other edgy jokes he made back in the day, but mainly for jokes he made regarding children. Sexually inappropriate jokes regarding children. And yeah, it doesn't look too good. I actually remember a lot of these jokes when I was younger. I used to watch Shane Dawson back in like 2011, 2012. I used to watch like his daily vlogs. So the clips that are going around, I actually remember. I'd forgotten about them. But I used to watch those, and back at the time, I was like, I don't know, 12, 13 years old or something? I must have been like 13 when I watched Shane Dawson, and I thought that these sort of jokes were funny, and to me, I was just, that's funny. But looking back now, oh boy, this certainly isn't very good. And there's stuff such as, there's a clip going around where Shane Dawson is standing in front of a poster of Willow Smith, the daughter of Will Smith, and she's only 11 years old at this time in this poster. And he pretends to jerk off to this poster. There are other clips where Shane Dawson is with his, like, I think 12 or 13-year-old cousin. And he's basically talking to her about blowjobs and making really weird sexual jokes around her as well. And honestly, the whole thing looks terrible for Shane. I mean, you can talk about, it was in the past and whatever, and sure, it was in the past, and he doesn't appear to be doing it anymore, but it certainly does not look very good. And that's where the Smiths have come in, because Jada Smith, the mother of Willow Smith, has come out and said to Shane Dawson, "I'm done with the excuses." That's a big deal, considering this is a celebrity with 1.5 million followers. There's also Jaden Smith, the brother of Willow Smith, someone with 8.1 million followers, who has come out saying, "Shane Dawson, I am disgusted by you. You sexualizing an 11-year-old girl who happens to be my sister is the furthest thing from funny, and I'm not okay in the slightest bit." And he also said, "This man was also doing blackface on the regular. As the youth, we need to support creators who support us and our morals. This is not okay." I struggled to read that for a reason. I think it's because every word was capitalized, and I'm confused as to why that was. But regardless, yeah, Shane's clips do not look good for him. I'm not going to play them right now. I'd have to find them, but I'm sure a lot of you have seen these clips. Shane has posted this apology video. He has posted this video saying he's taking accountability. I've seen parts of it. I've not seen the entire video. I'm not going to watch it right now. I really don't care enough. I'm kind of done with the whole Shane Dawson thing. There's been too much talk about it, honestly. I'm fed up of it. But, yeah, this comes like a day after Jenna Marbles' apology, which we watched on stream the other day. And that was a fantastic apology video. But from the clips I've seen of this and from the commentary I've heard about this Shane Dawson video, it doesn't quite hit the same notes as the Jenna Marble one. He tries to play that same sort of game, tries to follow in her footsteps, but I don't think it really happened so much. Titch Talk says, Shane and Jeffree's makeup has stopped being sold by Morph because of all this. I didn't hear that. Have you seen the clip where he says his biggest fear is if anyone broke into his house and stole his computer, he'd be blackmailed and most probably be on to catch a predator program? I've not seen that clip. You know, I think a lot of Shane Dawson's stuff, I think a lot of it genuinely is edgy humor. And that might be unpopular to say, but I think a lot of it can be excused as edgy humor. A lot of it also cannot. And I think the stuff that cannot be excused are stuff such as the way he has been interacting with his 13-year-old cousin, or the way he has been acting in front of the poster of Willow Smith. I think you can find all of these things he's saying and all the jokes completely gross and offensive and terrible. But I think that the difference between humor that can be, well, something that can be written off as just edgy humor that I don't like and was offensive, and something that is definitely very, very problematic and horrible and shouldn't have been done, I think there is a difference there. And for example, there's the quote where Shane Dawson was talking about like his cat and stuff, or there's the other quote where he said, "Oh, I googled a sexy baby" or something. I can't remember what the exact quote was, but to me, those things, they are statements that are pretty gross, but they're clearly attempts at shock humor. They're clearly attempts at trying to be shocking and over the top. Not jokes I'd have personally made, not things that I find funny either, but I can at least see that they can be written off. But when it comes to stuff like this Willow Smith thing, that cannot be written off. That is not just a joke. Well, maybe it is just a joke, but it's something that shouldn't be made into a joke in that way. And I think the difference is you're involving someone else. And I think there's a big issue when you bring another person into it. I used this analogy on Discord the other day, and I said that imagine you're someone who is making a joke about people in wheelchairs. There is a difference between making a joke about people in wheelchairs and actually going up to a person who is in a wheelchair and making jokes to their face, insulting them and making fun of them for being in a wheelchair. There is a difference between those two things. You could write both off as jokes. Both of them probably are jokes. But there is a completely different context to both of those things, and I think it's the same with this Shane Dawson thing. He has done some jokes in the past that are completely terrible, and maybe you don't like them and you don't think they should be said. That's perfectly acceptable to think that way. But there are other jokes he has also done, such as this Willow Smith situation, where that's like going up to the person in the wheelchair. That is involving a person, and it becomes almost predatory behavior at that point. So I think that's the difference there. What he said was gross then and now, but do you think he's a danger to kids? No, I don't think he's a danger to kids. I don't think I've seen any evidence that he's a danger to kids. I think it's ridiculous that some people are actually calling him a paedophile over this. I don't think he's a paedophile. I think he's made some completely disgusting, inappropriate comments, and should he be in trouble for that? Probably. It's probably something that should be talked about. The fact that he is put, for example, Willow Smith in this position and her family in this position, putting her as the butt of this joke, a very disgusting, inappropriate joke about a minor. I think that is something that certainly needs addressing, but do I think he's actually a danger to children? No, I don't think that at all. I don't know if you guys agree or not, but one or two edgy jokes, but when it's hundreds, there's got to be something behind it. I'm not sure I agree with that. I think it depends. I mean, if it's a consistent pattern of behavior years and years later, then maybe, like if Shane Dawson was still making those jokes today, then okay, maybe then you could say there's maybe something behind it, or that's a huge problem. But we're talking about years and years ago. I don't know the last time Shane Dawson made a joke like that. He's clearly changed, I think. He's changed as a person. And that's not me trying to defend Shane Dawson, because I'm not defending what he said or what he's done at all. I think that what he said is horrible. But yeah, I don't think there's necessarily something behind it. I mean, people make edgy jokes all the time, and I think you have to remember the mindset between edgy jokes. And I know, because I used to do it all the time. I used to be that kind of person. That's the thing I used to do. That edgy humor was the things I liked. And what you do, you don't say things even that you personally find funny or that you agree with. You say the most ridiculous things in order to get a reaction. The whole point is saying the most disgusting, horrible, shocking thing you can possibly say or do to get a reaction. And that's the whole point of edgy and shock humor. It has nothing to do with what you believe. In fact, it's usually the opposite of what you believe. The people making the edgiest jokes like that are often people who completely disavow the things they're actually saying. They're not seeing them in a serious matter, and that's why it's a joke. Because if it wasn't a joke, then it wouldn't, like, you know what I'm saying? The whole point of a joke is you're saying something you don't actually believe. And from my experience, people who make the edgiest jokes like that don't believe the things they're saying at all. I mean, obviously there are cases of some people where they use sort of sarcasm and humour to skirt the line so that people don't genuinely believe they're a racist, or they don't genuinely believe they're this or that. That certainly happens. But I don't think that's the case with Shane Dawson. Yeah, I came across Shane, 2011 it must have been, something like that. I agree, Just Ellie. I think he's just over edgy. I mean, look at all the characters he had. Was it inappropriate? Hell yes. Should he be cancelled now? I don't know if I agree with that. People should have been mad back years on. I agree. People should have been mad years ago, and I was talking about this in my last stream, about cancel culture in general, and I think I'm going to repeat what I said in that last stream, and basically what I was saying was that you need to, when you go about cancelling or exposing someone, you should always have some sort of goal in mind. What is your goal by addressing this? Normally that goal is to change someone, to change their mind. And so in the case of Shane Dawson, you're bringing up these past jokes. Okay, we can all agree these things are pretty offensive, they're pretty horrible, most of them. Especially the things about, say, Willow Smith and anything involving kids. That's horrible, and he shouldn't have said those things. But does he still believe that's okay now? I think that's the question to ask. Because if someone has changed their mind, if someone has changed their opinion over time, then what is there to argue about anymore? They are now on the same page as us. They are now on the same page, and suddenly, what is cancelling them doing? You're punishing them now at this point. You're not out to try and change or educate. What you're out for is vengeance. You're out to punish someone for what they did years in the past. And I think there is a difference there. And if you want to go for the punishment route, then fair game to you. Just, I think you should be clear about that. Anyway, Little Britain, yeah, the Little Britain thing was terrible, that being removed from streaming platforms. And the Fawlty Towers episode as well. The world's going mad. Anyway, Shane's getting rightful backlash, I think. I think his backlash is justified here. Definitely justified, especially when you look at those clips of the Willow Smith poster and those other clips with his cousin. I think those are genuine gripes people have there. I'm not so sure about some of the other stuff. Like, I'm not so fussed about his other edgy jokes or anything that people are saying, oh, he made racist jokes and whatever. I really don't care about any of that. I think that's in the past, and I don't think he's doing that now, so I really don't care. But when it is stuff like when he's making jokes specifically at certain children, I think that's something that should maybe be talked about. That's a bit different. Refusing to forgive hurts you just as much as them. I completely agree, Jess. I think refusing to forgive causes all sorts of issues. If you refuse to forgive, you're just going to live with a lot of hate in your heart. You're going to live with a lot of stress in your life. And for me personally, I just can't deal with that. I'm a very tolerant person. People have told me I'm too tolerant for my own good. That's maybe I'm too tolerant to a fault. I give people the benefit of the doubt. I don't, it is what it is. Shane Dawson is getting rightful backlash. He deserves some of this backlash, but a lot of it I also don't agree with. Anyway, I'm done with Shane Dawson for today. I'm fed up of talking about him. We're not justifying Shane Dawson. He made gross comments and he's getting rightful backlash. Okay. So we're going to move on to Blaire White. So, I haven't watched this video. Blaire White has made this video by Jeffree Star. You're a monster, my experience. And now we're going to put this on 1.25 times speed so we can get through it. But I have no clue as to what she's actually saying here. I've got some clue. That's a lie saying I've no clue. I haven't watched the video. I've seen little tweets about it. I know she's talking about something relating to the James Charles situation, Jeffree Star, and blackmail, and yada yada, but I don't know what's actually been spoken about, so let's find out.
Okay, so I have started and stopped this video 13 times because I am that nervous and scared to make this video. You know, in the past
13 times? How good is your camera battery? This is a 20-minute video and you've edited it down. I bet this footage was like 50 minutes or something. And you've started it 13 times? 13 times? I suppose if she's only done a couple of minutes, that makes sense. Ignore what I'm saying. My camera battery doesn't last very long. My camera battery lasts like 55 minutes. I have a terrible camera battery. It's really a pain because I'll try and record a couple of videos and I have to go and charge my camera.
I've definitely not been scared of speaking against powerful people or people with more influence, money, resources, etc.
She's speaking way too fast. I only put this on 1.25. Oh my god.
I'd ever hope to have, but for some reason in this instance I most definitely am, which probably tells you something.
Skyblade, shut up. No one cares. If you have issues, take it up with my other channel. This channel isn't for Australia. This isn't for your stupid gripes. This is for drama and YouTube news. Go to my other channel and have a moan.
And to be frank, as I'm sitting here, tells me that this is probably the exact right thing to do. If I'm this scared to do it, then I probably should be doing it. The idea of doing this video is something that I've gone back.
Do you believe she's scared? Do you guys in the chat believe Blaire's actually scared? Do you believe she's scared of Jeffree? I'm not sure I believe that. Is she really scared of Jeffree Star? I wouldn't be scared of Jeffree Star. What's so scary?
Back and forth on, and that has weighed very heavily on my conscience for about a month, preceding a very disturbing FaceTime call I had with Jeffree Star, who this video is about, as well as other people this video is going to be about as well, which I'll bring in. I was put in a very bad position by Jeffree Star that I don't feel like I deserve to be in, to where I was told things that I'm either silent about and then therefore in a way complicit with some really messed up crap, or I speak about and then put my shit on the line. And I don't feel like it's fair for me to be in that position. And I finally broke yesterday and talked to my childhood best friend about this. And I said, should I be talking about this? I'm scared. She said very plainly, and she's very removed from YouTube and YouTubers and this whole f***ed up world. And she was very honest and said, if this is the right thing to do, if this is where your heart is, then there's no other question. All the consequences, this person having, influence or...
What's really the consequences here? What's the worst thing? Jeffree Star says, "Oh, I hate you now, fans, go cancel her," or something. Like, what's the big deal here? Like, I don't see how Jeffree Star is some guy that can just destroy her life. Like, I don't see it. Blaire White has been attacked non-stop ever since she started YouTube by basically the very far left and people who, like, you know the type, traditional social justice warriors who despise the fact that there's a trans person who's also somehow conservative. You know the types, the characteristic sort of over the top. You know the type of people I mean. Blaire White's been attacked non-stop by those types of people. So I don't see how Jeffree Star suddenly is going to end her life, end her career or something. I think it's possible that yes, she is. Jeffree possibly has a lot of strings to pull, regularly feeds drama channels, information, etc. Blaire isn't untouchable either. Blaire has a lot of haters, right? I mean, there's a lot of haters, and a lot of the hate she gets is probably quite credible. I mean, I have issues with Blaire. She's not perfect. But I don't see how Jeffree is the end of her or whatever. I don't know. I feel like the drama channels that Jeffree feeds are completely different to the types of stuff that Blaire's involved with. Blaire's involved with a completely different sort of circle of drama than Jeffree is. Jeffree's around these sort of beauty drama channels and all that sort of stuff. Or regular commentary channels. Blaire White isn't quite like that. She's more like political commentary, and she dives into the sort of the Predator type thing and Onision and stuff like that, but for the most part, she's not going into just the petty YouTube drama. It's not really something she touches, whereas I feel like that's something that Jeffree Star is more into. Oh yeah, I forgot, she's friends with Shane, who's friends with Jeffree, so I suppose it could put her in a position with Shane at that point. Jeffree Star has a lot of money and has persuasion with sponsors and probably YouTube. Be Real money can buy silence by buying the people that are around him, giving her a platform. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Let's see what she's saying.
Power or whatever. It doesn't matter. If it's the right thing to talk about, it's the right thing to talk about. So I'm just going to do it.
Marmaduke says, Jeffree is scary. He has to keep the dirt on everyone, and they know when to keep their mouth shut. But, like, what dirt does he have? Like, surely he doesn't have that much dirt on people. And if he has dirt on people, then the people he has dirt on are going about their lives in the entirely wrong way. They need to find a better way to deal with things. Like, if someone has dirt on you, the best thing to do is just air your damn dirt to the world yourself. Because you can't live with someone holding something over your head. That's no way to live. There are a lot of people in the beauty world scared of Jeffree. Okay, maybe I just don't know enough about Jeffree.
So contrary to what I think some people think, I have never met Jeffree Star. We are not friends. He had me blocked for many years on Twitter because I was critical of some of his very bad behavior. And a year ago, if you guys remember, when he launched some accusations against James Charles, specifically that James Charles is a sexual predator, I was live saying that Jeffree was a mess for that because he's refusing to provide receipts for that claim. He was promising to provide them and then backed off and said, I don't want any part of the drama. Here is my opinion. Jeffree has no receipts. I think Jeffree was loving the downfall of James, and now that it's backfiring, he wants to dip out. And I keep saying you can't put your toe in and then your toe out. He didn't put a toe in. He like body slammed his way in, tried to ruin this kid's life. And now he's saying, I'm in a really bad place. It's a really dark place for me.
This is true.
And I don't want to do this.
Here.
And first of all, sexual predation is not drama. As a rape survivor, I don't feel that it's drama. So I need to be specific about how he came into contact. He reached out to me via DMs on Twitter. And the reason he reached out to me is because of this. And please keep this in mind, because I'm going to come back to this later. I typed out Jeffree's first name in response to someone on Twitter, a reply tweet, not a main feed tweet, saying, I'm thinking about doing a video specifically about Jeffree's involvement with Davi Vanity because it's really shady. He then was in my DMs with a quickness to, in my opinion, put out a fire. He didn't want my video to be made, so he came in my DMs, requested a FaceTime. We most definitely FaceTimed. So far. And this, by the way, this video is not about Davi Vanity.
Although, all I'll say is we're not seeing any evidence here, so we're having to take Blaire's word, which is something to note. Just because she's saying it doesn't mean it's true. Also doesn't mean it's false. But something to note is that she is not providing evidence here.
This is just a backdrop of how we came into contact, and I have to be specific about that. And basically, he manipulated me into not going forward with my video, said that a bunch of the things that were out there were fabricated. A lot of the receipts I planned on using were fabricated, was very convincing about it. And then a few days later, went on Chris Hansen, went back on all of that, and basically showed himself to lie to me. He said a lot of the things were fake, and then went back and said they were real on Chris Hansen. But again, that is just point A. This is not the point of this video. That's how he came into contact. So, however the conversation proceeded, it got to him asking me, so what's your opinion of James Charles? And keep in mind, a year ago, he called James Charles a predator and then refused to back it up with the receipts he promised he had.
I'd say, Jess, I don't think she's lying. I mean, I don't see what reason she would have to lie here. As people are saying, people apparently are scared of Jeffree. I don't see why she would go out of her way to ruin her friendship with Shane and also to get Jeffree on her bad side over some lies. I don't really see where that would come. So I am inclined to believe more so than not believe, but I can't take what she's saying for 100% truth simply because I'm not seeing evidence.
I told him my honest view, which is one that I was public with a year ago when it happened, and said, I felt like if you were going to call him a predator and promise that you had the receipts, you should have proven it and you should have provided those receipts and you shouldn't have tried to back out of it. I didn't feel that was right. He said, okay, I respect it, but do you want to know the truth? And this is the point where I wish I would have said no, in a way, but in a way not. He then provided me with receipts of a voice memo from a YouTuber who was allegedly sexually molested by James Charles. And it's credible. It's a YouTuber. It's credible. It is not my place to out this YouTuber's name at all. I have privately reached out to this YouTuber and said, hey, I'm a rape survivor myself, because I am. And I should never have been told this.
Okay, so she's saying that Jeffree Star does have the receipts. He does have the proof that James Charles is a sexual predator. I think that is certainly... I think this is worse now. I'm not sure. I feel like this is now worse for Jeffree. It was between two things. Either he falsely accused James Charles of being a sexual predator, only to then back off and act like nothing was happening. Or he has called James Charles a sexual predator with proof, then not given the proof, only to then be friendly and friends with James Charles again. Which is what people had an issue with the Davy Vanity thing, because he was on record speaking out against Davy Vanity, saying Davy Vanity was a predator, all the rest of it. Then he was on tour with Davy. Then he was seemingly friends with Davy still after saying that about Davy. So this is basically a repeat of that. And I think that is probably worse than the straight up false accusation. See, this is what I don't get. Jeffree has done worse than that, though, yet we aren't talked about. I don't know everything Jeffree's done. I know bits and pieces. I don't know. I don't keep up with the guy. I just know what's going on right now. So that's why I'm talking about this now. He's had this for over a year and he's using it as blackmail. Clearly he must be using it as blackmail. It's insanity that Jeffree is saying to the public, I have this proof, Jeffree is a predator, only to then say, okay, I'm still going to be friends with this predator and disregard all the proof. I don't want to be involved. Insanity. Yes, link Blaire's Instagram post, please. That would be great. He can have fabricated proof too. Yeah, he could have fabricated proof. That's very true. He could. I mean, we don't know what the proof is, really. It's a voice memo. But we don't know the full context of the proof unless we hear the proof. Unless we are supplied with the proof. How are we supposed to really take it? I just realized as well, I forgot from my last stream. I think some messages might be getting blocked. Are they? No. It's fine this time. Strange. There's a filter set up by default that I forgot to turn off that blocks swears and stuff.
But I want to let you know it's okay to go public with your story. It's okay to be heard. Or even just to talk to me if you need to, because I am a survivor myself. So I'm in shock after being given this information by Jeffree, and then Jeffree proceeds to tell me, James will never attack me because I have this on him. I have shit on everyone. Which he has said publicly before. I have shit on everyone.
Because I have dirt on everyone, and they know to keep their mouths shut.
I don't view something like this as gossip that you hold over someone's head or whatever. This is something serious. This is a crime. And just the fact that he's blackmailing people with this is disgusting. And the fact that I am expected to hold on to this information as well. And just the shocking fact that this is our first interaction ever and he's telling me this, I'm like, how many other people know this and have heard this voice memo and know that this is the truth?
Yeah, this is quite bad. If this is all true, it's certainly very, very bad. It's very damning against Jeffree. Yeah, I know there are ways to fake voice memos. That's true, but there are ways to fake all sorts of evidence. The thing is, we're arguing here, we're talking and we're debating about proof that we actually have not experienced. We have not heard this proof. We have not seen the proof. So how are we supposed to even really talk about this unbiasedly and fairly when we haven't actually seen the proof for ourselves? That's something to consider.
What? You know what I'm saying? Like, if this is my first interaction with you and you feel comfortable enough to tell me this, thinking that I'm just going to be in on this little game and complicit and he. No. That's something serious. And yes, it did take me a month to do this video, but that's because I have been scared. This is something serious. And I want to be very clear, this is not my place to out this person, you know, the victim's name, because this is clearly their story to tell. But you guys have to understand the position I'm in.
Jeffree is getting his proverbial ducks in a row before responding. I don't know if he's going to respond at all, honestly. He's been letting Shane and take all this backlash from what's going on there. He's not said anything about that. Jeffree's keeping his mouth shut. And honestly, it's probably the smart move. If he says anything, it just makes this blow up even more. So, I'm not sure he will address it at all. I don't know.
If I receive credible information that a very famous, very powerful YouTuber is a sexual molester or predator, but am I complicit with helping cover up for a predator by not saying that at least that much is true? That's the battle that's been going on in my head. And that's why I reached out to this person privately, the alleged victim, and offered my support. And I highly encourage them to go public. I highly encourage them to tell their story, because one thing I learned from the years it took me to speak up about my own instance of rape is that one thing that's very hard for me to personally live with is knowing that...
Yeah, I agree. It's not drama at this point. This is something that's very, very serious. It's not just... This isn't just normal drama. When you start talking about accusations of predatory behavior, that isn't just YouTube drama. That's a crime. That's something that needs to be taken to the police. That's something that needs to be dealt with by law enforcement. I'm not sure what Blaire can really do here, other than make a video but she doesn't have the evidence. What is she reporting? I don't know. I don't know how it works. Maybe she could go and file a report. This guy has evidence of this. Maybe they can make... I don't know what I'm trying to say. I really don't know what the solution is here. His restock failed. You can still buy the Shane X Jeffree stuff. His cash flow is at risk. I think he has a lot of money anyway. I'm not sure. I mean, he definitely cares if his cash flow is interrupted, but he's not going to go broke suddenly. It's a really hard thing to make a judgment on. I'm wondering what Blaire's talking about for the next 11 minutes though. We're 7 minutes in, and I feel like she's given all the information. The stuff I've heard so far, I'd seen tweets on Twitter, people speaking about what had been said in the video, and basically that's everything covered that I assumed was going to be covered.
There might have been people after me that were victimized by the man who hurt me because I didn't want to say anything. And if you think it...
But it is important to remember, at this point, we're talking about an allegation against James Charles that has not even an anonymous source. This is an allegation that is being made by Jeffree Star and then seemingly backed up by Blaire White. That's what it is here. There is no anonymous victim. There is no victim that has come forward. So I think you have to remember that as well. And without some sort of police report, without that, I don't think you could file some sort of police report. I don't think there could be any sort of investigation without there actually being a person that has stepped forward to say, yeah, this happened to me. But yeah, Blaire doesn't have the evidence. Jeffree has the evidence. The question is the evidence real? Is it true? Is it not fabricated? And will anything come of it?
Couldn't get any worse. It most definitely does. Jeffree then revealed to me someone else, a very famous YouTuber, who, yeah, I'll use the word raped someone. Did he provide me with receipts of that one? No. Do I personally think it's credible? Yes.
Pitch talks. These two fools don't even dislike the content. They're just mad about my other channel, my Rag Reynolds channel, where I make fun of things and make jokes. They're just very mad about that. I think one of them has been in my Discord all morning, crying about jokes I've made and things I've said on my other channel. So now they've come in here to air their grievances. That's all that is. They don't actually dislike my content. They're just brain dead. Yeah, how can she say it's credible? I feel like if you were to listen to, after her post, I believe it's real. You know what? I'm gonna I'm going to jump in and look at her post right now. I don't feel like her videos... Is her video going anywhere else? I don't feel like it is. I think that's pretty much what she's going to be saying. Maybe she'll say other stuff, but I feel like I've gotten the gist of what she's saying. Okay, this is her post. Okay, so I'd like to say a couple of things and react to a comment I'm seeing. I agree it's possible I fell into Jeffree's trap by making this video. This theoretically could have been what he wanted, although he probably never expected me to bash him. However, I don't personally think this is the case. When I teased on my Instagram story a few days before this video that I wanted to do it, he immediately tried FaceTiming me. When I didn't pick up, I immediately got a call from Shane. Both of them were frantic about me doing this and wanted me not to. That's very important for everyone to know. Why? All these people have dirt on each other. I'm starting to see they're all monsters. I'm seeing that the upper echelon of YouTube is similar to politics. The top players are all blackmailing power-drunk people who weaponize secrets like sexual assault. They secretly record each other, they keep records on each other, and ultimately try to control everyone. It's scary and I want no part in it. Going forward, I want to continue making the content I was making. Frankly, I don't ever want to see their names again. You can't expect me to go back to doing trans/LGBT content, social commentary, and videos about my life. The world I dipped my toe into yesterday is not the world for me. What do you think about that statement? I do think it makes her a little bit more believable now. I think I'm more inclined to believe what she's saying and that Jeffree didn't want this to go out based on that. But still, it does not convince me about whether or not the proof is legit. Because the proof itself could be fake. We do not know for sure if the proof Jeffree apparently has, this voice memo, is fabricated or not. We don't know that. And her statement does nothing to advance our knowledge of whether or not that is fabricated or not. So it's still hard to know. Does it make me believe her more? Her statement, yes, it makes me believe her more. It makes me believe that what she's saying is what she has actually heard. It makes me believe the thing she's saying. But I'm not sure it shows it's real. Because obviously, like, even if it was fake, right? If it was fake, Jeffree and Shane could still react in that exact same way. Because if it was fake, Jeffree would not want it to get out there because he knows that Blaire's putting it out there as though it's real. So this video hits the same way no matter what. This video hits the same way whether or not it's real or not real. Because we don't have proof about whether it's real or not real. Whether it's fake or real, we would be having this exact same debate either way. And Jeffree knows, or would have known, that people would be up in arms regardless if it was fake or real. So I don't think it proves that it's fake or that it's real. But what it does prove, I think, is that Jeffree did not want this out there. I think it proves that this was not wanted to be out there. Blaire has almost 1 million subs and she never noticed this side of YouTube before. This stuff doesn't only happen in the beauty community. Well, it depends, I think. It depends who you're networking with, what circles you're in. I mean, I'm sure some communities are worse than others. And I think it's who you are associating with. If you're a 1 million sub YouTuber, it doesn't mean you're constantly interacting with other 1 million sub YouTubers. It doesn't mean you're constantly interacting with lots of negative creators. There's obviously a lot of those people out there, but you're not definitely going to be interacting with them. And also, how self-contained are you? I mean, I message people back and forth, but I don't really have that many personal interactions with other YouTubers. I'm pretty self-contained. I don't do very many collaborations or anything like that. Some people do collaborations all the time. Those types of people are probably going to experience that stuff. People who go out and network with other YouTubers are going to experience these sort of things. I don't really do that. Blaire seems to kind of do that, but I don't know to what extent. I've seen like on her Instagram or I've seen on Twitter, oh, she's hanging out with this YouTuber or this YouTuber. I know she's friends with Shane or she's friends with other people. So I don't know. All I'm saying is that there's no need to disrespect our opinions when we did nothing to you. What are you even talking about, the Aura Princess? Go away. No one wants you or Skyblade here. You're both just crybabies. No one cares. But yeah, I'm inclined to believe that Blaire is being genuine. That doesn't mean that I believe the proof is real or that the proof is not real, but I believe that Blaire is genuine in what she says, that she genuinely believes what she's saying. Sorry, but I think Jeffree used Blaire to put this info out there about their enemy. Jeffree knows Blaire is an abuse survivor and has a soft heart for the cause. I'm not sure I believe that. I'm not sure. It's possible, it's certainly possible, but Blaire's statement there, saying that Jeffree and Shane both contacted her to get her not to put out the video, makes me think that Jeffree didn't want that out there. But I don't know. It's a really hard one to know. Skyblade, shut up. No one cares. You know what? Oh, that's the wrong button. I don't want you losers in here. Which is why I am banning you people. I won't ever ban you from my other channel. You can go over there and hate as much as you want. But this channel is not the place for that. Hide user on channel. Hide user on channel. Goodbye. You can all live in peace now, the rest of you. Jeffree was on the Mum's Basement podcast trying to get him to listen to the recording. I saw something about that. I saw something about Keemstar talking about it on Twitter. I think it was Keemstar. Does anyone else have any other topics you want me to go over? I'll be here another maybe 10-15 minutes at most. If there's anything else you want me to touch on, bring it up now. I didn't really have anything else. I knew I was going to talk about Jeffree and Shane for a little bit, but that was it. I don't know. Oh, I don't have mods for this chat. I just realized I don't. I have mods on my other channel, but I've only done a few live streams now, and this is the first time I've had any issues, so. Shane refuses to say James is innocent. Jeffree won't talk about it, and shops the voice memo around. James has been silent, and the Dolan twins got mad and unfollowed Jeffree. Rumor mill says it's one of the twins. That's possible. It's very possible. Total out of the blue, what are your thoughts on the Amber Heard Johnny Depp situation? Well, I made a video about that. I'm pretty sure I made a video about that. Let me check. I mean, I don't know, has there been recent updates to that? But I made a video, I think it was just after, whatchamacallit? Here, let me find it. I'm sure it's here somewhere. Here it is. Yeah, I made a video when she was caught admitting that she hit him. It was the tapes from, I think it was like some sort of marriage counselling thing they were doing. And those were leaked. Yeah, go check that out. Basically, I have a common sense opinion there that Amber Heard is absolutely terrible for what's happened there, and I feel very sorry for Johnny Depp. Well, if Jeffree releases the recording, you could have lawsuits against him and God knows what else. That is true, I suppose, but he doesn't need to release the recording. Like, why does he need to release it to the public? The public do not need to hear the recording. Jeffree should take the recording to the police. You can't file a lawsuit against a police report. If he takes it to the police, then he actually gets something done. I think that's what should be done. Not all this other crap. I don't think it really matters whether or not the public hears the tape, hears the voice memo or not. That's none of our business. We're only taking that for granted. We're only caring about it because so far it has been made into YouTube drama. But in reality, it's not YouTube drama. This is a very serious issue, and it should be taken to the police. Lodel says, Iran has issued an arrest warrant for Donald Trump. Can you cover that? Honestly, I don't know what to cover. It's Iran. Iran does what Iran does. Do you really think they're going to arrest the President of the United States? That's not going to happen. How can they arrest him? He's in a different country. I don't know. I don't think it really means much at all. I mean, obviously it's going to make Trump angry and he's going to tweet about it a little bit and there might be hard words back and forth, but that'll probably be it. Okay, anything else to go over before I end this stream? I feel like this has been an okay stream. Amber Heard should be sentenced. Oh, wait a minute. Her famous lawyers from women's rights has quit, so have other legal representation. Oh Lord. Amber Heard should be sentenced to DBT and anger management for at least 5 years to work with herself. Yeah, in those leaked tapes, she definitely sounded like someone who needs anger management. She sounded like a very angry person. They asked for help from international mediators. Yeah, but what's going to happen? You really think international mediators are going to arrest Trump and hand him over to Iran so they can hang him or something? Yeah, right. That's not happening. Nothing's going to happen there. I don't see anything happening there at all. It's just Iran trying to make a statement. They're just trying to provoke and make a statement. Nothing. I don't see anything productive happening there. Criminal charges should also be brought against her. I completely agree. Amber Heard, clearly very gross. I mean, what's so gross about it isn't just the fact that she abused Johnny Depp, but it's the fact that she abused him and then went and played victim and made the world believe that she was the one who was abused. That's what's so gross about all this. I mean, as if it wasn't gross enough that she would abuse him, but then to go out and make out that he's the one who abused her for all that time. Imagine how he must have felt at that point. The poor guy has been beaten, he's been abused, he's been physically and mentally abused for a long time. And then suddenly he is the one who is accused of doing that to her. It's disgusting, it's horrible. It's frustrating that just because she's a beautiful young woman, she will get people back her like Musk. Did Elon Musk back her? That surprises me. I didn't know that. I like Elon Musk as well. That's not very good. Yeah, it's a complete mockery. That was a completely terrible situation that should not have happened. Amber Heard definitely should be punished. 100% criminal charges against her. I think false accusations like that need to be punished with the full extent of the law. It's the only way, I think, to curb those sort of false accusations. False reports of rape or abuse should be punishable so they get the time of the innocent party would have gone. I'm not sure I disagree. I don't disagree with that. I'm not sure I agree with it being the same time. I feel like, I don't know. Maybe they should. I don't know. They should definitely get prison time. I would say that. He screwed her while she was with Johnny and manipulated the media. Oh. I didn't know that happened. Yeah, definitely. It's a horrible situation. I'll maybe look some more into that and we can talk about that next time because it's an interesting subject. I don't know how much more there has been. I see you guys are mentioning a few other bits and pieces. I don't know if there's enough for me to do a whole segment on or not, but I'll maybe have a little look into it for the next stream. Anyway, I hope you're all doing well. I hope you all have a good rest of your day. Make sure to check out all the links in my description down below. Follow my social media, all the rest of it. And yeah, I'm going to go edit a video for my other channel. Why don't I stream on Twitch anymore? I don't know. I liked streaming on Twitch a little bit. I like streaming some games. But honestly, I don't know. I didn't get very many viewers on Twitch. Not many people cared. So it becomes a little bit hard. On here I've got a bigger number of people who watch on here. On Twitch I was only having like between 1 and 4 viewers or something per stream. And sometimes it would just be 1 viewer, and it's kind of boring when there's no one talking, I find. Anyway, maybe I'll stream on Twitch again sometime. The link I think is in my description down below if anyone wants to follow that. Anyway, until